and across all the different cuisines, whether it's Indian, Malay, Chinese, Peranakan, or Eurasian, where they all really deserve a global spotlight. And if you really want to try it, I think Sky could be an amazing place that you could come and try until the August 10th.
Vanakkam. Today we are with Chef Soumya Venkatesan. Hi Soumya.
Hello, very nice to be
So
here.
wonderful to see you. So Soumya has come all the way from Singapore. She's a Singapore-based chef who is dedicated to making food options not just enticing but also rooted in celebrating and reintroducing natural, sustainable ingredients. Today, she brings to us authentic Singaporean, Malay, Chinese, and for the first time in the city, Peranakan and Eurasian cuisine. We are also celebrating Singapore National Day, which falls on August 9.
That's right.
So, Chef Soumya, please tell us about yourself. How did you become a chef, and this passion for Singapore cuisine, and what are your roots in Tamil Nadu?
And the story goes that I am a marketer by profession, worked for donkey number of years in IT segment, and that's when I participated in the MasterChef Singapore season 1. Thereafter, I decided to get into this profession because there were a lot of people who reached out to me, and they told me that they were very influenced. I still don't have any idea why, but nevertheless, it was something that I found very intriguing, and I thought that I should perhaps try my luck and see if I can make this as a profession. And from then on, I have been a chef, and I run a very small enterprise called Kerchil Kitchen in Singapore. And all my efforts in terms of championing sustainability or biodiversity or local produce or even food security has been largely through this enterprise, as well as another enterprise that I am an executive director, which is Digivriddhi Technologies, which is in India, which is essentially a dairy fintech.
That's fantastic, Soumya. So, what drew you to Singapore as a base for all your culinary explorations?
So, after my stint with MasterChef Singapore, what I have been doing in Singapore is championing cuisines of India over there. And when this opportunity came by, that's when I thought it was a great, avenue for me to kind of come full circle and look to showcase Singaporean cuisines as well in India. So during my work stint, the past 7 years there in Singapore, I've of course worked with a lot of food companies, where a lot of them being plant-based, where I have of course made a lot of cuisines of Singapore. So it's not something that is very new to me, but championing it in a pop-up and showcasing it in a story and narrating the stories of different cuisines in Singapore, that's something completely new, and I am so glad I've been able to do that in Chennai in India.
Singapore is very diverse in terms of its culture and also its cuisine. So, how has it influenced, and what are the influences in your cuisine that we may get to taste today?
So that's a very, very interesting question, in fact, because I've always been a little bit of a food geek. And when I started my journey in terms of learning how to cook, it's always been a little bit of understanding science behind the different dishes. And it's actually helped me a great deal in terms of appreciating the different cuisines of India, therefore. So, when I began cooking in Singapore and started understanding the different cuisines that are there in Singapore, I found it extremely intriguing because first of all, I looked at different similarities between the different cuisines and the cuisines of India. The second, I looked at the different differences and to understand it from a scientific perspective in terms of how ingredients get cooked and therefore what kind of flavor profile that it kind of develops, to also things and dishes that are very unique to the region. It has been an amazing learning journey even for me. To give you an example, a dish known as otak otak, which is essentially a fish mousse that is then cooked inside a banana leaf or even a palm leaf. It's then kind of barbecued and that's eaten as a snack. So now, from a technique perspective, it's been like amazing to see how the kind of textures it gets developed because you use the egg white in it to create that kind of mousse-like effect, and to have something that is eaten as just a snack, where it is completely made with fish paste or fish mousse, is something very unique. You don't really see that in the cuisines of India. So. Some of these dishes and these cuisines have been great in terms of me understanding possibilities of different dishes, and as a chef it kind of becomes very helpful because, say for example, if you want to kind of I curate something, then you can beg and borrow different techniques, different flavor profiles, different ethos behind these dishes and curate something very new.
Very interesting, chef. So, how would you describe your culinary style in one sentence?
My culinary style is doing something very simple, something as close as possible to the traditional dish, but slightly elevated so it reaches out to various audiences. So what happens most often than not is that people are apprehensive about trying a different cuisine or a new flavor, primarily because it's not their comfort. They've not grown up with it, or they're not able to relate to it immediately. So if you use the techniques of where you're trying to elevate it or trying to make it a little bit more relatable to audiences, then that becomes easier for different demographics to try the dishes. So that's what I like to achieve. For example, the pop up at Sky, where we've taken Singaporean flavors, but without losing the brief in terms of the authenticity of the dish. We've still made it, we've chosen dishes that would be easier for the Indian palate, easier for the Indian audiences to kind of embrace and appreciate these dishes. So that's always been something that I've always liked to do, and I would believe that's my style.
So, do you draw any inspiration from traditional Singaporean recipes or traditional South Indian recipes? And you have South Indian roots, right? But you live in Singapore. So, is there a South Indian reference in your cuisine, or do you take it to the modern culinary techniques? And how do you combine the best of both?
So I do have South Indian roots, and that becomes actually an advantage when it comes to Singapore, because one of the cuisines in Singapore is largely influenced by Indian as well, the Indian community as well. So a lot of the dishes that are Singaporean Indian by nature have similar ingredients and similar techniques that are used in Indian cuisines as well. So it becomes really relatable. It becomes far easier to kind of translate, where you probably adding one or two ingredients. For example, in Sky, we're serving the mee goreng, which is essentially a noodle recipe, but the flavors that are there in a mee goreng are egg, of course, but then you also have, and then the original recipe does have a little bit of balachan, but otherwise all the ingredients that are there are very typical. So like for example, you have onions, you have ginger, you have garlic, you have even spices. Those are again ingredients that are there in all the cuisines of India as well. So you do see a lot of parallels between my South Indian roots, and that is celebrated in Singapore because a lot of the Indian cuisine that is there has come from southern India.
I'm also a big fan of South Indian cuisine, and of course, I've been to Singapore many times and loved the food there. It's so diverse everywhere, and you get everything from across the world. Plus, of course, Singapore specials. But is there a local ingredient that you think that is, that could have a global spotlight in the cooking that you do?
It's been a pleasure to showcase that particular dish, which is called Epoch Epoch at Sky Curated Asian Dining at the Residency Towers, because everybody who's come here and eaten it has experienced it in terms of it being something very crispy, something almost like a samosa, something very relatable. But at the same time, they've appreciated the pastry because it is largely influenced by a puff pastry like structure, and that is very, very technical to make. So I would say that there are a lot of dishes in Singapore and across all the different cuisines, whether it's Indian, Malay, Chinese, Peranakan, or Eurasian, where they all really deserve a global spotlight. And if you really want to try it, I think Sky could be an amazing place that you could come and try until the August 10th.
So, can you name some of the dishes that we're going to try today, Soumya?
Absolutely. What we will try to do is make sure that you taste at least one or two dishes from each of the categories of the cuisines that we are trying to showcase here at Sky. So some of the dishes that are interesting here. In the Indian category, we want to showcase the rojak, which is actually a salad made with, the sauce is made with sweet potato that is used as a thickener. The second dish that we want to showcase to you is a mee goreng, again from the Indian category, which becomes a very interesting alternative to your Hakka noodle, where this has more robust flavors and very Indian flavors at that. In the Chinese category, we want to showcase a beautiful dim sum known as chi kueh, which is a Teochew breakfast favorite. And in the Malay section, we want to showcase an Epoch Epoch, which is a beautiful deep fried pastry, if I may use that word, which is savory in nature with potato filling inside it. And we also want to showcase an otak otak, which is a fish mousse that is like cooked in a banana leaf. And in the Peranakan and the Eurasian category, we want you to taste a pang suzi, which is a pork bun, which is made with, again, sweet potato used in the dough. It's almost like a brioche without using too much of butter. So it's a very interesting texture, and it has a very simple pork filling inside it. And of course, we are going to have you taste all the 4 desserts that are there, and all our desserts are vegetarian. One being a bubu chacha, which is usually a soupy dessert that is served in Singapore. And of course, for the Indian palate, we've converted it into an ice cream. And the ice cream has taro or shepa karanga, or the yam that is being used to kind of give the gelato effect inside it. We've used pumpkin puree and of course coconut to make the bubu chacha, served with some tapioca pearls, again made from scratch with blue pea flour as well as pandan. The second dessert is a mango sago, which seems to be like a hot favorite right now at Sky, and it's something that I feel that everybody should try as well. We're also serving the putu mayam, which is, for a layman's term, like an idiyappam made with pandan juice, served with coconut that has been steamed with salt to give you that salty effect in this dessert, and then with a gula maleka or like a karupati, local ingredient karupati syrup to go with it. And the last but not the least, we're also going to be serving you a kueh talam, which means a steamed cake, which is made with ubi or tapioca. And we are hoping that all of this excites you enough or intrigues you enough that you have an enjoyment meal.
This is so interesting. I'm so excited to taste everything now. But also, chef, do you cook yourself at home sometimes? Do you or take a break when you're at home? And what is your favorite comfort food?
Yes and no. I do cook at home whenever time permits, because as a chef, you do have very long hours, and because I also work in another role and another company as well. So I'm usually very starved for time. So it's Sundays and Saturdays when I get to really cook for my family, and that's when I enjoy the most. Um, when it comes to like my favorite food, it's very hard to tell because I do have time periods when I have like favorites of mine. I'll tell you about one comfort food that I've had in all my breakfasts here is at the Carnaby restaurant downstairs, where they serve kappai kur, which is basically a ragi and fermented rice. It's like a
Okay.
congee. And it is so nice to see that in the buffet because in Southeast Asia, when we travel even to all the other countries, there always is a congee counter at all the breakfast,
Right.
right? And here at Carnaby, it's so nice to see that we're using our own kur or equivalent to a
Yeah.
congee being showcased there. So I eat it with like manga or like mango in it,
Okay.
and it's to die for.
Oh, I should try that next
You
time.
should, you should.
Thank you so much. So let's get to the best part now. Let's get
Yes.
to eating all the yummy dishes prepared by Chef Soumya. And this is on only for a limited edition. It's on only till August 10 at Sky, the Residency Tower. So all you foodies of Chennai, don't think, just come and meet Chef Soumya herself. She's here at the hotel and she'll guide you through the favorite specials from Singapore.